And go live on YouTube. Yay. All right. A potential strategy, you say? How would we detect the earthquakes? You get me earthquake API and historical data, and we'll run the numbers. We could totally plug that into our strategy discovery system. And if that's relevant, if it unlocks anything from short-term trading to long-term trading strategies, like we really need to start populating our knowledge base. That's our top priority for the year. Now that we've built all the system, we need to figure out pretty quickly if it's actually worth a shit. Speaking of the system, let's turn it on. Excuse me. What's up? What y'all doing? What y'all working on? That would be books, plural. Oh, I was thinking I should add Mandelbrot's book to that list. Misbehavior of Markets. We should have like a book thing. That would help me like start padding up my YouTube. We can read a book on stream. I'll write like a summary of the book type thing. Uh, then we'll record me reading the summary of the book type thing. So that way, Twitch content becomes refined YouTube content, becomes shorts content in the content fountain, right? That might be fun. And I haven't gone through some of those books in a long time. I wonder if evaluation and optimization of trading strategies is as applicable as I remember it to be, because I think a lot of it was oriented around walk forward optimization, which is no longer really the bee's knees, but it is essential to learn it. Monte Carlo backtesting, or no, what are we calling it? Yeah, I think we call it Monte Carlo backtesting is the hotness. Synthetic data. All right, so this is our front end. And this is our trading strategy discovery application. It's a one-page app with multiple pages. You know, we thought that was pretty innovative. Um, it's not a genetic algorithm. Let me be clear about that. But you can think of it as being a gene pool. So we are searching for trading strategies. What defines the search space? Well, the search space is defined by the trading strategy components that we create and add to the search space. Each component can flag an anomaly or define a universe of assets that you might be interested in searching for an anomaly, or carry out a trade in some particular way when paired with an anomaly, or label the market condition somehow, like a regime. So you have your four classes of components, which, when combined, well, they can only be combined in so many ways. So you can sort of use them to define the search space by all possible combinations, right? And then all the strategies pop out. Pretty cool, right? So you get this sort of bizarre tree structure, which represents the search space of all the possible rule combinations, right? And if we have more than one investment universe in the search space, there would be more than one root node here. So there'd be like a multiverse. But this sort of defines all of the possible permutations of market regime labels, anomalies, tactics, trading those anomalies, all the possible ways to filter them with the aforementioned label. I'm doing a terrible job explaining this. Look, it's a gene pool. You throw in all of the genes of interest that might be useful for a possible trading or a specific trading technique, like say stock scalping or option theta collection, and it will put together all of the possible combinations to see if any of it is actually tactically useful or predictive, right? Not trying to predict the market, but trying to predict the performance of a particular trading tactic, right? Anyhow, it's a trading strategy search engine. So, at the moment, we have a little bug. Oh, and how to read the results. Your F1 score is how well it's picking winners and avoiding losers based on its filtering, its opportunity filtering. So anything around 0.5 means absolutely no informational advantage whatsoever. No edge. Your profit factor is how much profit is actually being generated. Now, it's entirely possible that it can be profitable, which would be a P factor greater than 1, and still have a neutral F score. So it could look like a good strategy, but with only one other stat, you can know, oh yeah, it's just a coincidence that it's making money. Oh, what do the components look like? So here's our sort of rough library of components. We build the components, but they're all very, very simple. So like here's one that we call the eye of the open. And if you'll give me a moment to fire up PyCharm. The eye of the open. So we got this idea. Hey, right after trading, the opening bell rings for the trading day, right? There's this huge glut of trading activity. And a large part of that is because there is an order type called execute at open. And there is an opening auction process where those orders are aggregated. A selection process takes place to peg a price that executes the most orders. And then that happens, right? Doing a terrible job explaining stuff today. Anyhow, so we quickly built up a mathematical... That's not true. We didn't build up a math model. We built up a SQL query that can find that in the historical data, right? So that we know what it looks like. And then we use that to create a little bit of Java code that can detect that when it happens in the real world and generate a signal, right? And that's really only a few lines of Java code to do that. So we can write that and stick it into our system, and then bam, now we have that trait, that genetic trait that can flag that anomaly whenever it happens in our library. So now we can build trading strategies with that anomaly, if that makes sense. So the individual components are not very complicated. In fact, the only really complicated ones are the trading tactics, just because they usually have a multi-step process that they have to carry out to manage a trade. But the anomaly detectors, the signal models, they're usually very straightforward. Your regime labelers, your context labelers, whatever you want to think of them as, they're usually pretty straightforward too. Like here's one that just labels the different times of the trading day. And you just see if that adds any predictive power. Yeah, many if else's. That's what this structure represents. It's just chaining together the different rules. And if we mouse over, you can actually kind of follow along, right? So here's our investment universe, right? We only have one. It's called two stonks. Here's the signal model. We only have one. It's eye of the open. So here's the actual signal that came out of it. We're going to optimize this tree a little bit. So, okay, you start with the signal. Here's every time the eye of the open signal was detected, right? And then we pair that with all of our different trading tactics. And because we only have one in here, don't worry about what it's called. It's our 2-pip ripper. Just makes a very, very efficient scalp, if it can. And has a pretty wide stop loss at that. Okay, so every time the eye of the open occurs, we trade it with this particular tactic. And then everything else represents filtering rules. So take all of the trades or take none of the trades, right? That's your first branch. Take all of the trades except for the ones with that occur while we're observing extreme trading volume, right? That's a possible strategy. Take all of the trades. Yeah, that's a strategy. Just take them all. Take all of the trades except when it's above average trading volume. Strategy, right? And vice versa on the other side. Take none of the trades except during extreme volume. Take none of the trades except during above average volume, above average and extreme volume. And then you get all the possible strategies. And there's a couple of rules in here that keep it simple. For example, there's a rule to keep it simple. If you have two strategies that produce the exact same results, like the exact same set of trades, then we always prefer the simpler version, right? We don't consider it a valid discovery unless it actually changes the results, right? So that way we don't get lost in complexity. Because there can be a lot of permutations when you start adding a lot of models in there. We've also come up with a really clever process to outsource a lot of the complexity of this search to the SQL engine. So we have this like 11,500 character, 300 line SQL query that does most of this work for us. And then we just throw the output into an inference engine and out pops all the strategies in like a millisecond. That's our latest upgrade. We just finished that when I got super sick and had to take about a week and a half off. And this is my first stream back where we're going to be actually writing some code. So pardon me if I'm going a little slow today. And also, you know, President Trump. You've been doing this, but hard coding the settings. Yeah, so like you're getting to the point where you need like an engine, right? Where you're ready to go from a bot to an engine. Oh, cool. What's up, Leonardo? A little lube? Word. Yeah. No, yeah, the dry leads to sensitivity. Gotta, you know, do you, baby. National emergency to declare. Shut up, ivermectin. How did you get that name, by the way? Did you just get it when it was hot and sit on it? Just very patiently wait for it all to die down so you don't get banned from the platform. All right, so the strategy details page is broken. because we changed the format of strategies in the discovery engine. So now instead of it producing individual trades, it produces aggregated trades. So like the little API endpoint that pulls all of this breaks. So that's something we want to work on. So we kind of want to figure out what the new format's going to be and design a new page accordingly. Though I think we can restore like well, yeah. Let's figure out what we want to do before we do it. So yeah, this page is broken, which shows the details of discovered strategies. And at some point, we'd like to be able to actually say, oh, hey, strategy, which we have discovered, go deploy to this portfolio over here. Because right now, we just do that manually. Or we just sort of say, oh, this is a strategy. Let's take this database UUID and say, add this to portfolio. Psh. Be nice to have a little right click there. Oh, it's not an I. Very nice. Very clever. Aren't you so clever? How's that working out for you? Being so clever. We'll keep it up then. All right, hold on. Let me see how Grandma's doing. It's a big day for her. Baking big bubble rustic bread. Oh, neato. Oh, Grandma. She's euphoric, I'm sure, because of the Trump. You know. Okay. So we got our web storm. It's where we've been building most of this. Let's have a look. See, I am so rusty on TypeScript or Next.js or whatever the fuck this is. I think we let Vercel's little V0 thing do a lot of the heavy lifting for us initially, but we should only be swapping out basic stuff from now on. Do I still have a valid... Is V0 still free, or... Try and log in with GitHub here. Looks like it's still free. Okay. Claude, take the wheel. Oh, you haven't caught a stream in a while? Yeah, it's a shame that the discovered strategy page is broken. So anyhow, on my agenda, sort of generally speaking, is I want to replace this chart because it sucks. It loads in all busted, and the more complicated it gets, the more like you kind of have to straighten it out, and it's like, no. I'd rather it not even be interactive if it just loads properly, right? Like I don't like the idea that it loads in all tangled. I also want to strip out some nodes. Like we don't need the signal model name. That can go. I haven't taken a look at Alpaca since like 2021. I met a friend, or I met a guy through a mutual friend who had trained a neural network on S&P 500 data and was trying to get it to peek around the corner of time, which I tried to explain to him was a fruitless endeavor. I was like, you can't outperform the S&P using only the S&P as input. Like it's just like you can't just throw raw data at a neural network and he's like, hey man, it's working. Anyhow, it basically mirrored the S&P performance plus trading fees. As you would imagine, it got, when it got choppy and whatnot, it would get choppy. But yeah, it was all built on Alpaca, and it was very well built, and it had lots of cool little interactive reports and stuff. Yeah, everybody's tried that before because it's so easy to just data set plus Python neural network go. Yeah, I've got a D3 chart picked out. Let's take a look at that. If I can find it. Directed force graph. No, that's not it. Do we use synthetic data? No. That's something we're very interested in doing. We use real data to discover the strategies. That's why I call it a search engine, right? We're searching for strategies that are in the data. Once we find them, right? Because we're not really searching for strategies that work. We're just searching for strategies. We want them all, right? We want to catalog them almost. The idea is if it works, it's in the data, right? If it works with the ideas that you're playing with, then it'll be discovered in the data. From there, you have the perfect data set to go about generating synthetic data for further Monte Carlo driven development of a more refined strategy. But that may be unnecessary. I mean, we don't know yet. It may simply be that, yes, you could do that, but that 95% of the work would only add like 5% returns, right? Anyhow, let's see. D3 gallery. One of these was really good. This one. Yeah, I want this one. How do I do that? I like how it's all nice and straight and tidy. Now we're currently using one that's just called like React Force Graph. Maybe we can reconfigure it to be less lame. This is the one we're currently using because it's so easy to plug and play. But this one seems really built for 3D. And yeah, we could do that, but Does it suggest strategies? It finds all of them because a strategy is just a combination of rules, right? So we literally use every combination of rules in the search space that produces a distinct set of trades to discover all possible strategies, right? Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could put the moon cycles in there if you wanted to, and it would tell you if that adds any predictive value to a particular tactic, right? Yeah, 3D is kind of cringe. But the whole point is that you don't have to worry about overfitting strategies, right? That's a big problem for research. Let's say you come up with an idea for a strategy. You write it, you test it. Oh, hey, that's all right. But if we tweak it here and tweak it here, it'll work much better. See, that's where you get in trouble. Every time that you tweak it based on the backtest results, you're overfitting it. You're teaching the child to test. Oh, Ramen, we're over here on Twitch. Twitch TV/Algo Pro. I'm sorry. I don't pay a lot of attention to the YouTube chat. That's a flaw of mine. I'm working on it. So, with this general framework, you can encode just about any strategy that you can imagine, right? From pairs trading, currency trading, crypto trading. You could do arbitrage. Let's see, that would be twitch.tv/AlgoPro. Yeah, I need to get a combiner app. Anyhow, so it discovers all possible strategies, and then you can see if any of them are any good. And it can only discover them once. The components themselves can't be overfit by their nature because they can only be perfectly accurate, right? Sure, they'll all have some error rate, but you want it to be able to detect the thing that it's trying to detect very accurately, and you can't really overfit a detector, right? So that's the whole idea. We've restructured strategy experimentation into such a way that we cannot there is no loop for overfitting. There is only the search engine and the results that it produces. So the worst that it can do is overfilter, which could create false positives. And we can know with some simple statistical tests what the likelihood of a false positive is based on the search result itself. Say if it starts with 10,000 possible trades and a strategy that it produces only has like 5 trades, it's a very high probability of a false positive discovery just because it's way, way over filtering. So the odds that those 5 trades picked at random were all profitable is actually really high. Oh, thanks, Scout. I'm not Twitch partner yet, unless there's a little icon next to my name. Is there? I'm pretty sure I'd get an alert. They wouldn't, just do it. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm not a partner yet. We qualify for partner. I put in the application. Over the next 2 to 4 weeks, maybe longer, they're going to review it and determine if I am worthy. And I think I'll be all right. I've had pretty consistent numbers as long as I've been streaming in the software and game dev category. It's just, for whatever reason, my numbers are up like 20% the last couple of weeks, and that has pushed me over for partner, which is great. Because I've been literally just a few average viewers short of partner for years. And that's very frustrating to check it every time. And it's like, you're 3 viewers short. You're 1 viewer short. You're 5 viewers short. Yeah, it'd be great if I could get it the first time. I know somebody else who recently applied for it who has basically identical numbers to me, neck and neck, and she got it. So I'm feeling confident. And I think a big factor now is that you offer something unique, right? And we are the only financial technology stream on Twitch. To my knowledge, there is nobody else out there whose thing is financial technology. There's game devs and software, like regular devs, there's OS devs, there's security people, but there's no finance people except for me. Finance technology people specifically. So that's kind of how I filled out the application. You have to describe your stream to someone who's not familiar with it. And I was sure to point out that we are a very, very unique niche, that there's nobody else doing what we're doing. And I'm really hoping that that makes the difference to get us partner. Anyhow, so this is the library that we're currently using for our little disco chart. Let's see if there's any way we can sort of tighten it up. That would be great. Nope, this one. Dude pool and hot tub, yeah. Well, if we get if we get partner, I'm going to start doing some more experimental content because I won't have to worry if I like underperform for one or two streams. Like if I had a stream with only 20 viewers, it would kill my numbers, man. it would like add another week to the quest for partner. It's so sensitive. But once you're partner, it doesn't matter anymore. So that would be great, just to take that pressure off of, hey, it's all right if I want to like play Alien Isolation one night and maybe only 20 people watch it. Like, because I really want to do that. I want to do some VR stuff. I want to do Rumble, which is a really fun game. It's really involved. I'd have to like set up the whole apartment to be able to stream it. And I kind of want to do that just for my own, just for fun. I think it'd be fun. How much can my viewer count drop? We're okay for now. Because you can only apply once a month. So if my numbers dip for the next few days, it won't make a difference. I have a Meta Quest 3. Yeah, I'm like 78 average right now. It's like just a teeny tiny bit over. 75 is the number to beat, yeah. Anyhow, all right. Are any of these better than what we currently have? Eek. No, these are all awful. I think this was the one that sold me, where I was like, oh, that's neat, but this is very impractical for us. Do like a flat tree. Yeah, some of these D3s can do like these dendrograms, which I really like. That's pretty cool. That's very Darwin, which sort of matches with our oh yeah, it's like a gene pool, right? And then if you just throw this out, it becomes a little more intuitive, right? But not interactive. So, yeah, it's neat, but that's all it is. That's pretty neat. But ours would have like 10 or 12 nodes on it, so it would get very asymmetrical very fast. Like, you're going to have some cases where this thing has like one long string. I can totally see that. So I love this. I just wish it didn't load in all fucked up. Could I like increase the physical forces on it or something so it just immediately goes rigid? This is let's see. It's this thing. It's just called React Force Graph. Let me get you the link and y'all can start poking around at it. Because I'm sure one of y'all knows this a lot better than I do. Somebody take a look there. So yeah, if we can tweak the the config a little bit. Let's see. Let's take a look. I'm not seeing anything like force. I do believe I've seen a setting for like how long to run the initial animation. The stroke force. Okay, here, force engine. Here we go. Can we just switch it to D3? All right, hey, let's take a look at our code. I haven't touched our front end stuff in forever, so I'm going to be really rusty here. All right, let's see. Okay, force graph 2D. Yeah, that's coming right out of their code. Okay. Did I create this? Or did this come off a shelf? Oh, when you have the AI writing all your code, right? Cooldown time? Yeah, this is their code because this is pretty exhaustive. Okay. Wait, I can literally just say number dimensions 3? No way. Is that a thing I can do? I didn't think so. D3 force. Oh, what's up, Donald J. Trump? I don't know, man. Your coin's not looking so hot, brother. Do I still have that chart up? No, I guess I ditched it. How we doing, Don? 4170, man. Not looking hot. Not looking hot. All right, hold on. I'm reading some documentation here. So let's see here. Graph data, height, weight, link, color. No. Ooh, lasagna sounds good. Nobody's making me lasagna. So wait, okay, where do I put in the force engine configuration here? Oh, I see. Yeah, force graph 2D, force graph 3D. All right. Am I the developer or the algo trader? I'm both. I am the man and I am the machine. I am merely dollar signs represented by a human. New to algorithmic trading, can I suggest a roadmap? Yes. What's up, SMG? I mean, we can change the configuration of the physics, I think. Only applicable if using the ngraph simulation engine. I don't know, man. I pulled this thing off a shelf. I think I need to find the documentation for that. All right, so we got 2D, 3D, AR. Each can be used to represent a graph in 2 or 3-dimensional space and force-directed iterative layout. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. I just want it to be less janky. Any book? I just gave you a list of books. There's like 6 books on that list that I just gave you. Evaluation and Optimization of Trading Strategies by Robert Pardo. Advances in Financial Machine Learning by Marcus Lopez de Prado. As well as Machine Learning for Asset Managers, same author. Yeah, basically anything by Marcus Lopez de Prado or Ernest Chan should be good. Is strategy discovery still exhaustive? No, we optimized it so it works backwards based on only sort of what's in the data. It's SQL based now, so it's much faster. It's still technically exhaustive, but it doesn't try any permutations that don't produce a significant amount of trades. It's almost instantaneous now. Like, check this out. So this is literally how fast it takes to run the search algorithm. That's it. That's it. It's super fast now. Yeah, it's exhaustive, but via filtered data set. Ooh, sports data monitoring and quality control. Neat. Good luck, man. Sounds like a fun job. Well, the thing about algorithmic trading is it's really, really hard. I suck at it. I'm not doing it successfully. I know everything there is to know about it. Man, I suck. It's hard to even get something put together. And it's not because it's technically difficult. It's because the market is very, very efficient. It's not perfect, but it's very efficient, and it's getting more efficient all the time. And efficiency just means how fast can the market process new information into a stable, reliable price. It's tricky shit. They say that there's no macro alpha left. It's like gold mining. All the big finds have been found already. And now it's going to be about advances in technology and technique that let you scrape those last few specks of gold off the bottom of some rock. Yeah, I mean, they always say that, but it's always true. We're always at the precipice of technology. Oh, yeah, they don't think that we're at the end of history. Remember that the fundamental assumption of Karl Marx was that we have reached the end of history. That like this is it. There will never be another new technology, another new factory, another new business. All the wealth has been created. Now we have to distribute it. That was the whole philosophy. And yet, the tide of history marches on. We haven't discovered everything worth discovering because we're still stuck on this rock. Oh, SMG, you know that guy's lying. There's a lot of liars like that. I used to know a guy. He was like my best friend. He fucking lied to my face. Pretended to trade his way from 3 grand to $1 million with this suicidal, nonsensical, like all in at like zero DTE options at the open, right? Keeps posting the trade logs. Yes, you can edit it by inspecting the element. You can make it say whatever you want, dude. There's always fakers like that. If you were the real deal, you would not be wasting your time in a Telegram group. You'd be buying a house. Don't fall for that stuff, man. I'm telling you, I've seen it every which way. And it's not even that they're profiting from it, it's just that they like the attention. The guy I knew, he just liked the attention. He faked one trade, I pat him on the head. He faked a second trade, I pat him on the head, and he just kept coming back every day for his little pat on the head until it's like, dude, come on, you're not a millionaire. Be honest with me. You did not make $100,000 today. He's like, yeah, you're right, I didn't. They just like the attention, man. Some of them just it's a sickness, right? It's like a Munchausen thing. Yeah, it's very similar to what Elon's doing. It's very similar to what some other people have been doing recently. And my friend, the guy who's doing this, his day job is like he worked in a grocery store, man, bagging groceries. Like the guy just it was his little escape. It was his little fantasy to get away from how much he hates his life. Was just to pretend to be a hotshot trader. And when I called him out on it and told him we're not friends anymore, I saw him like go into some Discord group and keep the scam running, just pretending to be this hotshot trader because it made him feel good. And it was just it's a sickness, dude. It's a sickness. I would say I feel sorry for those people. Um, and then there's another class that literally just they're running a scam. Like they gotta have the evidence to so people are willing to pay $20 a week or $20 a month or $20 to get into some Telegram group. None of it's real, man. It's no more real than the people who fucking oh yeah, I sell luxury cars to rich people. So here's me in a Lambo on a private jet on my Instagram. Yeah, I sell luxury cars. That's what I do. That guy's fake as fuck. Um, there's the oh yeah, I rent apartments guy. Like I'm the Grant Cardone type, you know. Oh, I do multifamily housing, real estate. There's a million fake those. There's a million people out there pretending to be living off of like real estate flipping, sports betting, right? That's another big one. Gambling. I see it out here in Vegas. Every local knows who the fakes are, man, and they're all fucking fake. There's no real ones. There's all these like neck tattoo, face tattoo. I'm banned from Vegas types. Like I'm a professional gambler. I'll show you how to make money playing blackjack. Those guys are all fake. Yeah, there's a lot of meet Kevin types. Digital nomads. Yeah, I did the actual real deal digital nomad life. I lived in landings and Airbnbs for 4 or 5 years. It sucks, dude. Don't. It's terrible. It's terrible. I burned out on it. It's awful. There's a lot of just lifestyle marketers, right? Yeah, there's a lot of low hanging fruit for algo trading. Yeah. There's a lot of like, oh, I'll teach you how to quant. I worked at Goldman Sachs types, and they just give you some basic Python lessons, and here's how you can do like the Titanic PCA problem. It's all very textbook. It's really, really hard to make money at that stuff. Same with algo trading. You've done it? Yeah, yeah, Leo. When I was doing it and enjoying it, I was staying in places for like 6 months or a year to really kind of settle in. And then you kind of just get bored of the routine and you want to move on. And that was really doable for a few years right after COVID. It was affordable if you didn't really have a lot of stuff. For me, it was just a laptop, and so I could make that work. But once I started trying to have like a decent office chair, like it all falls apart. And you realize you have certain materialistic needs, like a chair and, you know, maybe a nice set of whiskey glasses, maybe to have more possessions than would fit in a briefcase. Oh god, the Nomad thing sucked. Yeah, Titanic on Kaggle. Yeah, I've done that before. Am I still in Vegas? Yeah. So why do I do it if it's so hard? Because I'm sick. I'm sick in the head. I can't think about anything else. I've tried. It just doesn't work. My brain has like two modes: algo trading and like stop thinking about algo trading so that you can think about algo trading later. And it's been like that since April 2010. And I can't turn it off. I like this is not a joke. This is not a bit. This is not a thing I'm saying to amuse you. I'm serious. I've actually had moments where I've had to look in the mirror and go like, am I mentally ill? Is this a sickness? I just I love it. I hope that one day I can get good at it. Yeah, I'd be doing it without Twitch. Yeah, the Twitch helps me focus. That's why I started doing it on Twitch. I was like, I can't just sit here and watch YouTube all day. Like, I need to focus on algo trading. Yeah, I would say at a certain point, you just kind of have to decide, when you've had enough. I don't think I'm there yet. I want to see this through because I've been kind of working on this for the last few years. And if the strategy discovery paradigm doesn't pan out, if we're just not getting results after a couple of weeks of churning out strategy components, there's a few more things I want to try, but that might be it for me. I mean, I want to try the Marcus Lopez de Prado synthetic data stuff. I think there's something there. If like I think this is an alternative route to get there. I think that there is validity in searching for strategies and that this paradigm might get traction. And if it doesn't, then I would be interested in just a pure synthetic data approach, like what some of the research papers that Marcus Lopez de Prado has been publishing in the last few years, which I think I might have handy right here. This paper is very interesting. And I've probably read it like 20 or 30 times. And the gist of the paper is you start by building your synthetic data set, and then you build your strategy for that. They are not doing a bunch of billion spinoffs. I hate that show. But yeah, so if what I'm doing now doesn't pan out, and this also doesn't pan out, then that might be the end of my algo trading journey. But who knows, Like I've got a backup plan now. I'll probably have a backup plan by the time I'm working on that. But yeah, what's up, Philippe? We were just kind of talking about like when do you throw in the towel? Am I gonna try the Ty Lopez approach? No, no. I would probably just go pledge my sword to some other outfit. I would just go see if I can get on a commodities desk at Millennium if I'm not too old. And I can still do the stuff I'm interested in doing even if I can't do it independently. And I think I'd probably still be okay with that. I just have to accept being a worker bee. That's hard, but you'd get to do what you love. So yeah, to generate the synthetic data, you have to come up with a process that can create like a really realistic synthetic market data, which is kind of hard. But thankfully, we have a lot of real market data to work with. So you just kind of create a neural network that generates synthetic data and a neural network that tries to discriminate between real data and synthetic data until they sort of reach an equilibrium. And then you should have something pretty decent. You should be able to generate infinite number of examples of whatever it is you're trying to trade. And you can add parameters to that so that you can sort of measure the parameter space of a particular market environment and build that into your simulation and see how your strategy performs on all of the different permutations, right? All of the different possible environmental conditions. And then you just have to match that up to the real world. You have to come up with a selector which can determine what's the probability that the last 5 minutes of real data came from one of these data generating processes. And when it matches up to something that you know how to trade, deploy. Very similar to what we're doing here, except this starts with synthetic data and ours starts with real data. I call it discovery versus design. Actually, trying to write something up to that effect, but give me some time on that one. Anyhow, yeah, can we better configure this? I was originally thinking, hey, let's just swap it out with something, but that looks like a giant pain in the butt considering how rusty I am. So can we just like reconfigure this to be much more rigid? Let's see, we had some documentation up here a minute ago. Where did that slip away from me too? Hmm. Oh, I think this was it. Yeah. Nothing wrong with it being a worker bee? Yeah, I guess. You grow up telling yourself, you grow up being told you're the next Bill Gates. Then you're 35, and it never happened. And you look back and you go, did I commit to the wrong ideas? Did I go to the wrong college? Or maybe it was always astronomical to begin with, or maybe we're not done yet. But that's sort of what 35 has been like for me. I don't know if anybody relates to that. That's a that's a I think maybe that's a thing every intellectual has to go through. Where you're like, huh, that whole masterpiece thing never really materialized. I mean, I'm still working on mine. Just, what's my background? Biotechnology. I've been coding since I was like 9. So I went to college for life sciences, biotechnology, genetics. Well, this is it, I guess. Yeah, wasn't there a whole Sopranos episode about like, is this all there is? I it takes some solace that if I literally just gave up, I could go LARP as a normie and probably have a lot of fun doing it. Like just abandon all ambition, go get some cushy six-figure tech job and like go to concerts and stuff. Like normal people stuff. Like I'll go to different bars every night because I don't do that. Normal people do that. Like I'll like go to events. I'll travel, and I'll just LARP as a normie, and I might accidentally have fun because it's just like, oh, what do you? My whole life, I get a job. It's like, oh, this job pays $250,000 a year. I'm not thinking about stuff I can buy. I'm thinking about, oh, I can sock that money away to do this. And that's like my whole life. I've never been like, oh, I can have this money and then spend it on me. I don't know how to think like that. I just don't. I think, because there's always been so little, and this has always been so important to me that, like, I have no concept of plenty, right? I think I could do that. I think I could just, I could just LARP as a normal person and probably, you know, I could be okay with that. Kids, oh, dude, no. Kids, that's not happening for me. It's too late for that. Oh, I'm gonna get a snack. Yeah, do you want kids? Slash have them? The mind trap of long personal software projects. Yeah, I've met a couple cats a couple years ahead of me with very similar stories. It's like, ooh. That's why I'm trying to like do something I've never let myself do before, which is put an end cap on it. Which is to say, like, listen, all right, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and if it doesn't work out, we're gonna move on. You know, that's where I'm at now. Yeah, I mean that is the reality of building things. Is that not all the things you build work? I think what matters is that you had something that was important enough to you to put the work in, and you put the work in. And if it didn't pan out, that doesn't really matter. A thing comes into your life that you care about, and you say yes. And that thing can go away, and you can say yes too. That's okay. No, you don't need one good strat. Didn't you read my paper on X? You need a couple good strats. That's what makes it work. That's why I thought and still think that my technique is so clever because Marcus Lopez de Prado's technique, where you use synthetic data, you can only develop one strategy at a time. With my approach, we can test and discover dozens or hundreds of strategies at a time because of the emergent properties of the search engine, where like the more strategy components we put in, the more knowledge it has about the market, the more permutations it can try that we would never think to try. I think the major problem is just that we have limited data because the market has only existed for so long. Yeah, thanks. The ability to publish articles on Twitter was genius. Like, that really is changing the landscape. So instead of getting a blog or anything like that, I just start publishing on Twitter now as like a cut out the middleman. And then you can copy paste all your article work over onto LinkedIn or whatever, which is part of my plan. I would like to be able to parlay Twitch partner into maybe a blue check mark on LinkedIn. That'd be nice. They have that? That's a thing, right? Anyhow, this is a little article I wrote about how you can diversify your risk even when you don't have an edge to reduce your chances of like ruin. And how doing so, again, even without any edge, just flipping coins, like, reduces your variance. And that's sort of the marginal impact of diversification. Do we need other data for strategy discovery? The beauty of the search engine is that you can put anything into it, right? So we could totally plug in weather data if we wanted to. You just sort of have to figure out how you're going to label it. So something really simple like hurricane season, right? Or whether or not the hurricane is currently landfallen, right? A simple on-off state would be a good way to do weather data. You have to boil it down into something really simple, but totally doable. So it seems intuitive that we should be able to do this approach to do strategy discovery, right? Like there's no obvious reason why it shouldn't work other than there's just no alpha there to be found, or the nuance required can't be expressed in this paradigm, in this framework. But I think there's certainly validity to the idea that you can search for a strategy. A lot of the weather stuff these days is like you've probably heard the example. It was in a YouTube video from Good Work. What do quants actually do? And the example was, yeah, if you can predict the weather slightly better in like Kansas, then you can predict the capacity of this energy pipeline because a few degrees makes a difference. And if you can anticipate that it's going to produce or that it's going to have slightly more, slightly less throughput, you can get ahead of how much supply is going to be passing through this thing at this time, and that's going to affect the price in this way. And you can arb it out. You can predict that tiny, minuscule little price differential by predicting the weather. So could our system infer that same strategy? Possibly. It's possible. People get depressed on rainy days. Have to be an excessive amount of rainy days. Use the anomalies to predict the weather prediction. Well, it becomes reflexive, right? Like, so now the market, somebody in the market notices there's unusual trading activity that seems to imply that somebody has a weather prediction that deviates from what's printed on the tape. And then the market knows that what's printed on the tape is wrong and that this person may be right. Why else would they be betting? So now the market knows that you know. And you know that the market knows that you know that the market knows. And this, my friends, is reflexivity. And if they were going to give George Soros a Nobel Prize, it would be for that. Didn't they give him? They gave him something for it. Anyhow. Let's see, y'all. How can I reconfigure this thing? It's been so long since I played with this, I literally don't remember how it works. Okay. Not all props listed below apply to all four components. The last four columns. Okay, got it. So we're looking for 2D. How is the market efficient? It's, it's not perfect, but it's efficient. This is also why, just as a small follow up, this is also why you don't see a lot of people like what I'm trying to become. Like, you don't see a lot of, independent algorithmic traders sitting at their desk alone with their own infrastructure and their own data pipelines and their own strategies that they came up with all on their own. Because the stuff that like works is that kind of crazy shit. That kind of like arbitraging the throughput of a goddamn natural gas pipeline based on the ambient temperature of a cornfield in Kansas. Like, that's the stuff that works. And it's monotonous and it's fucking stupid. And it takes a team of people and infrastructure and sensor data and months of R&D and consultants to come up with, and it probably won't generate more profit than it costs to discover it, because as soon as you figure it out, 20 other people figure it out, and the market becomes that much more fucking efficient. It's really cool when you think about it until you're trying to compete with it. And then you're like, fuck! Why don't we just go Bond villain and start blowing stuff up? That'll get the market moving. We should just start a Ponzi scheme like everybody else. Everybody's doing it. The fucking president of the United States of America is running a goddamn coin scheme right now. I know, right? I'm good at marketing. We could pull it off. If I wanted to have a crypto project, it would have been an algorithmic stablecoin, but we already know those aren't possible. It's been tried. It's been tried. That would be cool if you could pull it off, but that's what FTX was supposed to be, right? Was an algorithmic stablecoin? Or am I thinking of something else? I'm thinking of like DAO or something. That was Luna? Thank you. Terra Luna, that's right. I vaguely remember something like that. So efficiency is the velocity at which the market can react to new information. Yeah, efficiency is, I would say you can measure the efficiency of the market by how quickly it can price in new information. I think of it in terms of an information curve. It starts with, imagine just an XY chart. One person knows it, two people know it, four people know it, 10 people know it, 100 people know it. And as step by step in time, the number of people that know a thing that is relevant to a stock price increases until everybody knows it, approaching 100%. So that information curve, right? That's kind of how I think of market participants' awareness of a new piece of information that affects the price. And then you add reflexivity to that, and you have our market. That's why it's very difficult to model. Would there be a benefit to an algorithmic stablecoin? I don't know. You don't need an algorithmic state. Like the whole point is that Just buy dollars. Just do what Tether did. Just buy dollars and put them in a bank account and assign each a fucking serial number, and there's your fucking stablecoin. It's backed by dollars. The problem is that Tether is dirty as fuck, but it doesn't matter anymore because the new head of the SEC is tightly affiliated with Tether, so that one's not going to pop anytime soon. Wouldn't that be a heck of a way to kick off the Trump administration if Tether imploded and the whole crypto ecosystem collapsed? Chat, if I was an international bond villain and I wanted to crash Tether, how would I do it? Oh yeah, Tether. Yeah, isn't there a lot of like Chinese paper? Wasn't that a big fear when the Evergrande scandal or whatever was happening in China, that a lot of those buildings that were being abandoned by the real estate developers were like the real estate bonds underlying Tether? But we never found out, did we? Because Tether's never been audited. Like not since 2016, right? So, hmm, hmm. All right. You guys are impossible. Oh, no wonder that was getting so confusing. Let's see. Force. Yeah, how could you force an audit of Tether, though? Oh, but they have to put force in everything. Render control, zoom, force engine. There we go. That's what I was trying to control F to. All right, 2D. Apply layout constraints based on the graph directionality. Only works correctly for DAG graph structures. No, I don't think that's what we're looking for. Why did they double dip in Tether? Well, it starts simply enough, right? Imagine you want to start Tether. How do you afford to run it? If it's a perfect one-to-one relationship, then every dollar is a Tether, and there is no money to run Tether. So, okay, we're going to buy bonds. We're going to buy treasury bonds with that money. Well, at the time, treasury bonds don't yield shit. So we got to find some bonds with some yield so that we can generate some money to run this operation, or we're going to have to dip into the tethers, into the dollars. Now, it's really hard to do that kind of business. So there was a lot of speculation that they were buying bonds of like Chinese real estate development companies, which were, hey, safe as houses, right? Maybe not. So Tether's never really been audited. Nobody knows if they actually have the dollars. And if I had to guess what the largest point of failure is for the crypto ecosystem, it's that. If there was anything that was going to be bailed out, it would be that too. But who bails it out? Uncle Sam? It's not American. It's a Bohemian bank. Wall Street would have to bail it out. Like when long-term capital management happened, but that was American, so that was sort of within the jurisdiction of Uncle Sam. Somebody would have to provide the liquidity to get them out of Dodge. There's no Sam Bankman-Fried to like cut a $20 billion check. Yeah, there is. Oh, father! Elon would do it. Elon would get his billionaire friends together to create the Bank of Tether. The Bank of Doge. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see it. And then the billionaires, the Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk types, would control the central bank of crypto, the central bank of Bitcoin. We would come full circle. Just become a traditional hedge fund manager. Yeah, I guess I could do that. That was always just sort of a back seat to the algo trading, but yeah. Hmm. Tether can block addresses. Hmm. All right. Yeah, what's up with Trump coin? I know we're not being very productive today, everybody. It's sort of my first day back to work after a brutal flu, and I'm trying not to jump right into stuff that's not like absolutely necessary, which is why I'm preferring to see if we can reconfigure this chart before replacing it with another library because I think all of them are based on the same D3 base code, so we should be able to just find some reconfiguration thing. Anyhow, use the restroom real quick, then we'll get back to it. But yeah, it's good to be back. Trying to get back in the swing of things, you know, after not streaming and being bedridden with a fever for a week. It's all going down. I'm actually kind of shocked. Thought it would perform a little better than that. All right, what we got? This is the force graph section. Yep. Is this all we got? All right, so what physics mode are we in? I guess that would be whatever the default is, right? Yeah, because our actual configuration, I guess all being in the little parameters of the component here, is here. So, not a whole lot of optionality here. So it's on D2, right? Because it's force graph 2. Force engine. D3 or in graph. Default D3. Okay. Oh, yeah, that doesn't work on the 2D one. Okay, I see. All right. Apply direction well, it only works correctly if DAG. Yeah, we're not. I'm pretty sure we're not a DAG structure, so that really means all we can do is change the velocity. I'm not really seeing something that we can do that's gonna get this to not be so floppy. Like nothing kind of jumps out at me as like, oh yeah, that's it. Except for maybe like the DAG thing, but I'm pretty sure that doesn't apply to us. Apply layout constraints based on graph directionality only works correctly for DAG graph structures. Directed acyclical graph. I guess that kind of counts. That one picture of Zuck, what was it? Okay, let's try it. I'm kind of curious what it does. Ew. Look, it does something. What? Okay. Yeah, I don't think that's what we were looking for. Yeah, we're playing with the different settings to see if we can get it not be busted. And I think we just busted it more. All right, top down, bottom up, left to right, far to near, outwards radially. What is this even doing? I don't know what it's actually doing here. Maybe we're not properly, it's not like the right configured data set for that sort of thing. But yeah, none of these DAG modes seem to do anything. Oh gosh, I was kind of just thinking I could crank up like the physics effect to 100 and it would just blast everything would blast everything apart and then it would like lock in. But no, it just doesn't seem built for that. Let's see. Yeah, just not a lot of options here. Well, we could use this other one. We just have to swap out the component. Uh, Seems basically the same deal. Yeah, we'd probably spend the rest of the day just restructuring the data. See, yeah, I thought there'd be something like this in there where you could just like crank up the force and it would get rigid. Ooh, neato. I'm not taking Martin Luther King Day off. No, I wanted to kind of get back into the swing of streaming. You know, I've been knocked out with this flu for the last week, and I'm just I'm still kind of a wreck on a wreck. But I gotta get back into the swing of things. Like I cannot just lay around being sick. I'm going crazy. So, oh, thank you, man, Brave. Appreciate that, man. This seems pretty cool, but not really what we're going for. I like it though. This is sort of what we're going for, but we're gonna have to like create a new component from scratch to host it because it's not like a React component that I can just plug in, at least not that I know of. You want to move here so bad? Man, I was just thinking it might be time to move out with Trump declaring war on the cartels. Like, ugh, ugh, I'm a little too close to the border for my comfort. Um, yeah, I gotta get on the job hunt here before too long. I told myself I was gonna start doing it with the new year, and now I'm kind of putting it off to Valentine's Day. Having trouble letting go, I guess. All right, let's see. Yeah, I really don't want to create a component from scratch. I don't need a new job urgently, but like I have been out of work for 15 months and I'm not getting any income here, so I got to start thinking about what I'm going to do if this doesn't work out anytime soon. If I get Twitch partner, why do I need a job? Everybody needs a job. Got to have income from somewhere. I make like $2 a day streaming. It's not a lot. It's like 200 bucks a month. Oh, it's like $2 an hour, I think. Yeah, it's not a lot, man. It's really not a lot. Let's not talk about partner coffee. I'm not going to TwitchCon, guys. Like there's 50,000 partners, so it's I heard that there were 10,000 people at the partner party in San Diego and that like people were getting roofied. Like it was not a private party. Oh man, I need some chapstick. So yeah, that's not exactly on my agenda. I want Twitch partner really so that I can put this on my resume. Um, I mean, I'm really proud of the work we've done here. And I would like to be able to say, like, oh, yeah, during this time, I was building this thing and I was live streaming on Twitch. And, I wanted to sort of see what a public development was like and that kind of thing. And I can always pitch it as like it was just a midlife crisis. Let's see, what do you got here? Yeah, this is the same library, right? This is the one that we're using. This is just the 3D implementation. So I'm pretty sure we can just pop over here and change 2D to 3D. And yeah, check it out. Maybe we should just do that. Fuck it. Right? That's not too bad. Just you can't see anything. The colors are all busted. I don't know. I kind of liked it. Hmm. Yeah, if we could get the same colors, maybe we'll just do 3D. Fuck it, why not? It's really just for show anyway, so. I just hate that I always have to straighten it out. I thought that was going to be some low hanging fruit, you know? All right, so how do I do 3D background color? It's literally just background color. All right, let me take a screenshot and use a color dropper. Sixteen, 25, 41. Oh, sorry, forgot it was over here. No, not sure if I'm doing that right. Oh, it's a string. Okay. Nah, you're gonna want the well, yeah. 16, 25, 41. It's a windstorm out here in Vegas, I tell you. Brutal. Yeah, I don't think the background is working. Yeah, 2D is certainly easier to understand. It's just that it comes in all wonky, man. I know it's a stupid thing to be complaining about, but ow, I should probably just leave it alone. But yeah, when I switch it to 3D, the background color doesn't seem to fit. I'm guessing because I need to do it as a hex color. Let me try that. Maybe not. Yeah, link color is a function because it's by the link. Oh yeah, that did it. Okay. Yeah, I'm still not crazy. I think it looks much more confusing now. Yeah, screw that. I just gotta accept that it's ugly. This comes with the territory. Yeah. No, it was worth poking around at. But I'd say that's not really worth the headache for a superficial thing. But yeah, we can remove the signal module node. That's one thing we can do. Can put what on it? Ugly's in the eye of the beholder. That's what they say. That is what they say. What am I getting? Eczema? Swear, coming up with all these rashes lately. I think living in the desert is starting to take a toll, man. I saw a headline that there hadn't been any rain in Vegas in like 7 or 8 months. I hadn't really thought about it. I was like, yeah, damn, I can't remember the last time it rained. I think I think it was like a freak rainstorm for like 30 seconds and we streamed it because it was just like, what the hell is that noise? I had never heard it rain here before. Spit on that thing? Yeah, right. No, I don't know. I'm starting to think about getting out of Vegas. It's just it's not as interesting to me as it used to be. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting jaded. But I kind of miss the suburbs just a little bit. Just a teeny tiny bit. Destination. No, nothing in particular. We'll just see, where the adventure takes me. I figured this is either going to work out, in which case I'll probably move to Miami, or it's not going to work out, in which case we'll go wherever the job wants. Okay, yeah. How do we remove the signal module? That we have to go into the back end for. I think it's literally that simple. Oh, yeah, no, we have to do this. Because there might not be a universe present. Oh, I see what I was doing here. Yeah, I think the original intent was that if there is not a universe, then we should show the Sigma model node. And if there is, then we should only show the label. Amsterdam? I'd be okay with that. Wait, didn't Amsterdam recriminalize marijuana? Isn't that a thing that happened? Like, what do you mean there's no marijuana in Amsterdam? I thought that was the whole thing. Soon I can move to Canada. No, I think there wouldn't be a point moving to Canada because it's just going to be the 51st state, man. No, y'all got weed? All right. I'm coming. So yeah, if there's a universe present, uh-huh. I see. Uh-huh. Ah, okay. Yeah, no, get rid of it. But yeah, there's a possibility that there won't be a universe present, in which case, yeah, it should still be all right. Yeah, now that I think about it, yeah, no, we should do the yeah. Okay, so if there is a universe present, and there's not a universe present, don't put the model. Yep, that did it. So now it won't show the signal model unless there's no universe. That way, we won't have just a bunch of free floating signals. They would all have a root signal model if there was no universe. But if there is a universe, then we can just route all the signals to the universe and skip the signal model. Because we don't have the context model for the context, so it's inconsistent. Yay! All right, let's make sure they're all properly labeled. That's a thing we have been overlooking. That's all we have is the annotator class name. Yeah, we got to do better than that. That'll work for now. Sweet. Oh, it's just class names for now. But that'll work. So we have the signal name. Everything else is an ID. Reflexivity is reacting to the prediction. So the reflexivity is let's say I'm a dirty insider trader, right? And I know something that nobody else knows. It's not going to be published for another day or two, right? So I go make some crazy trade, right? The market will see me making that trade. It'll go, somebody's making a crazy trade. Well, this trade only makes sense if something were true, if there's some piece of information that we don't have. And so the stock price starts trading up or trading down or whatever. Like, even though the market doesn't know what I know, it's picked up on that I know something, right? And that would be reflexivity. Is that even like everything that we do in the market changes it. It's kind of like the observer effect. So it's like I know that you know that you know that I know that I know that you know. Like we're all sort of reacting in cycles. Can you bluff like that? Not meaningfully. In some cases, like if an earnings report is about to come out and somebody is observed to be trading as if they got it early, yeah, the market will follow along pretty quickly. It'll go, oh, that person's acting like they already know it. Maybe they do. Could you use that to trick the market? If you, maybe that would be a very, very expensive experiment. Well, that is also reflexivity. The feedback loop of a runaway asset bubble is reflexivity. We're buying it because it's going up, and it's going up because we're buying it, so we're buying it, and it's going up, so we're buying it. Right? And it creates this feedback loop until eventually something changes, something snaps, right? And somebody says, well, I'm going to sell it because it's gone up so goddamn much. It's like, why are you selling it? Because it's not going up as fast as it was yesterday. Oh, I better sell it too. And then now it's like, oh, why are you selling it? Because it's going down. It's going down because we're selling it. Well, we're selling it because it's going down. That feedback loop is reflexivity. Trump coin, what? Don't just come in here and shout Trump coin. All right? Sensitive people in here. Okay. Slight tweak, good. He launched two. There's a presidential shit coin and there's a first lady shit coin. Melania coin, I'm told, is not doing very well. Yeah, not great. Yes, way. He tweeted it. CoffeeZilla already did a video. He was just like, this is my hell. This is my personal hell. What are you going to do? There is the programmers are also a human guy. He tweeted like, there's only those who aren't rich aren't brave enough to launch a shitcoin. And it's like, I guess that's just where the finance world is now. It's just a joke now. Well, gosh, in this particular case, the investigators answer to Donald Trump. The SEC answers to the president. He can always pardon whoever did this on his behalf. I thought I was voting for one thing, and what I got was coin scams and H-1Bs. And Billy, that's not that's not what I voted for. That's feeling like there was a little bait and switch here. Feeling like you came at me with Elon Musk, and then suddenly he's saying that he will go to war with anybody that wants a well-paying job. Oh, you want a high-paying tech job? Well, why don't you just fuck yourself in the face? It's like, wow, Elon, dude, I was just saying, can I get a job at SpaceX, man? You didn't have to come at me so hard, bro. Oh, yeah, so here we go. Now, considering that the president basically has carte blanche here, I thought that this would I'm going to be honest, I thought that this would just go up. I really did. I thought this would keep going up until somebody dumped their liquidity unlock, and then that would be the end of it. I'm kind of shocked it's performing so poorly. Imagine if Elon just actually had Elon coin. Just no Doge jokes, no bullshit anymore, just Elon coin. If he could just say that this is going to be the money on Mars, and we're doing it here. I don't think Trump and Melania know anything about these cryptocurrencies. I honestly think that this is somebody working for the campaign bought the rights to do this at the last minute. They don't really fully understand what's going on. And that, Trump just thought that he was he thinks meme. That's probably how they sold it to him. It's like, oh yes, Mr. President, it's going to be the official Trump meme. And he's like, I like memes. The kids like memes. Memes are popular. Let's do that. And like, I don't think he even realizes it's a crypto. I honestly think he doesn't know. We'll find out. Anyhow. Yeah, like I think that he's got people that work for him that do that kind of stuff. Dude, I don't think Elon knows. I don't think Elon knows anything, dude. I'm on it. I'm just gonna be straight up. I think Elon's full of shit. I think he's a malignant narcissist, and that it's really like he is driving a cult of people who are excellent. But like the excellence is not Elon's. You know what I mean? I think Elon is P.T. Barnum. Kind of J.P. Morgan-esque, kind of a showman, right? But not, he's not the guy. He's not, like when Elon is sleeping under the desk of whatever, like I don't think it's because he's up all night trying to solve engineering problems. I think it's because he's up all night delegating, right? I don't think he's the physicist super genius, and I think that his repeated his failed attempts at petty attacks against Asmongold and how he responded to being wrong tells us a lot. That's how he behaves in a very, very low stakes environment where it's completely inconsequential. The fact that it was like, oh, you mildly offended me. Let me lunge for what I believe to be your weak spot with a dagger? Elon, what the fuck? And you missed. And then he stood up and missed again. And then he just drops the knife and walks away and acts like nothing happened. Dude, you literally went after this guy's livelihood for saying that you're faking your PoE2 run. Like, think about that. And then he posted a very pirate software-esque wall of I'm absolutely in the right here. I did nothing wrong. Narcissistic drivel about how, like, yeah, I tell world leaders that you have to speak in your own voice on X, and I tell people what I believe, and I don't always get it right. Everything but fucking apologizing. Where it's like, it's okay that you lunged at this, that the richest man in the world lunged at a YouTuber with a dagger aimed towards what he thought to be his livelihood over a video game review. Now imagine that you're Elon's ex-wife. I'm sure he treats you quite well. You know what? Bet he worships the ground you walk on. I'll bet he's polite and respectful, and there's no creepy shit going on, and your phones certainly aren't tapped, and there's not people following, there's not tracking devices on all your shit. It's no fucking wonder. He's a psychopath. Just just the pettiness of demonetizing. You're the richest man in the world, and you are attacking people's livelihoods over petty, petty, because he doesn't want to admit that it's not his goddamn Path of Exile account. When the definition of a malignant narcissist, I don't use the word lightly. The definition of malignant narcissist is that you are always willing to escalate hostility rather than admit that you are wrong. Always. To the point of nuclear Armageddon. To the point where literally people are going to die and you will not admit that you're wrong. That's what makes it malignant. And it's not even a fun video game. It's a video game that's difficulty can be expressed as a logarithmic curve. That's not fun. I'd get it if it was Counter-Strike. A skill-based game. But when the skill he's pretending to have is investing hundreds of hours, and that's what it is, that is the difference between a Path of Exile god and a Path of Exile noob, is how many hours you've put into it, period, right? It's not like a skill that has to be learned, like the way excellent Counter-Strike play is, or StarCraft play is, right? Where it's like an actual skill that has to be built, that there is a best at it, right? That I would understand. But when it's like, I, the richest man in the world, am pretending to have invested 1,000 hours into a video game. Dude, of course you haven't. Like, and if you have, then you're fucking over, like, you're fucking over your shareholders. You are the chief executive officer of multiple public and private companies. You are accountable to the people who cut you the checks to buy the goddamn thing. And you want people to think that you're neglecting those responsibilities to play video games. And he's clearly getting backlash from these people saying, okay, either that's true and you are not doing what we're fucking paying you to do, or it's not true, and what else are you lying to us about? And now he's just in this no-win situation. Like, this is the guy who's going to take us to Mars? This is the guy who's going to have a total monopoly on helium-3 for the next century? You know what? I think you're right, Leo. I think you're right. I think you're right. It's just... It's that you can just lie now. You can just say whatever you want. Then you can just lie. And then just... Maybe he's spending too much time around Trump. I remember thinking when Elon started tweeting like a crazy person that he was imitating Donald Trump because Donald Trump was very popular for tweeting like a crazy person. I think that's what it was. I haven't seen the Apprentice movie. Um, I heard the acting in it was amazing. Well, we all well, like there is an internet model for what happens when you're outed as a malignant narcissist, which is that you become a lolcow. And I think Elon is kind of already there. It's it's we're watching to see what awful thing you do next. You know what I mean? It's it's the king is running around as a jester. How can you not watch? All right, I predict Trump's going to drop Elon like a hot potato. Um, I think Elon's going to continue to do this kind of stuff. It's going to keep backfiring, and he's going to become like so publicly uncool that Trump's going to get some distance. That's kind of my prediction. This happened last time around, remember? Elon was on like one of Trump's American Industrial Advisory Board type things, and they had like one meeting, and then Elon was like kicked out of the White House, something like that. Ah, yes, YouTube. Let me check in on them. Sometimes I forget that I'm streaming on YouTube. All right, so what are we trying to do here? What's the plan? So we have built a nifty search engine that lets us find trading strategies in large amounts of raw stock data. But to do so, we have to build these little strategy components which can generate meaningful labels for that data and generate trades based on those labels. So this lets us discover novel trading strategies, and we've already written out all the code to deploy them once we discover them. And long term, we would like to put together a collection of 10 to 20 decent strategies that have very little to do with each other, that aren't really correlated with each other, in the hopes that we can put it together into one pretty decent portfolio that's optimized for risk-adjusted returns, as laid out in this paper on my Twitter. So that's sort of what we're working on. But I'm also fresh off of a brutal flu, which has kicked my ass, so we're getting very little done as I sort of get back into the flow of things here. So that's sort of the big picture. Don't catch this flu. This one really sucks. My life has basically been hell for 9 days. And I'm really hoping we're getting towards the end of that. All right. So, anyhow, where were we? Couple of bugs to clean up. Let's see. This is the big one. We're trying to build the ultimate strategy. No, 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 no. There is no God strategy. We're just trying to build some pretty good risk-adjusted returns if we can. Yeah, many mediocre strategies. So we kind of conclude it as, we're not looking for one super strategy. We're looking for like a handful of modestly profitable strategies that we can hedge against each other. So the hope is that our strategy search engine will let us find enough. If Elon bought GameStop, there'd be no point. Yeah, we're small enough that we could probably find something to trade. I don't know if it'll be enough, but we'll see. We'll see. Hey, we built it. We built it. Let's see if it works, right? Keep clicking the wrong tab there. So, okay, this is a big one. This one I am in no condition to tackle. But yeah, it's an additional layer of risk control at the portfolio level. But that can wait until we upgrade portfolio models. Let's see. Late ticks. I think that can drop off. I don't think we've run into that again. That was probably a Wi-Fi issue anyway. Let's see. Log panel, dashboard panel, flight recorder optimization. Oh yeah, our candle aggregation super query still has a few tick types that need to be omitted. Yeah, we'll probably work on that. And then we've got a bunch of strategy component ideas that we need to work on. But I kind of want to finish up because we built like 5 or 6 of them rapid fire before I got sick. And I would like to clean these up and get them into production because I think we've only got 1 of them in production right now, or 2 of them. A bug bite or something. So are we trying to find good stocks or like find good entry points? Closer to the second thing. We're trying to figure out if any of the anomalies that we can map are predictive of the performance of a particular tactic. So we're not trying to predict the future. We're trying to figure out when is the best time to deploy a particular type of trading. So it's very tactical. So yeah, we're trying to come up with like active scalping strategies would be a way to think about it. Like, you know, if we're getting close to a 52-week high, you know, should we do this bullish thing? Sorry, I'm doing a terrible job explaining because I'm still a little sick. But we'll get back into it. I can just, I can feel my energy levels are just so wonky. All right, so yeah, as I was saying, we have a bunch of strategy components that we built right before I got sick here, which we need to polish and finish and put into pipelines so that they'll compile jars and stuff and we can use them in production here. We need to brainstorm for some strategy components that would be ideal for scalping. What's up, ISO? Brain rot for 5 hours. Yeah, that was me this last week. Was just soaking up all the pirate software drama brain rot. Oh yes, thank you, Viz. I'm sorry I'm not doing a better job explaining, but do come back in a few days. I'll be a lot more eloquent and a lot less feverish. You want to morph it into a marketing thing? What, just like some half-baked trading system to just go out there and sell? Well, whether it works or not, I'll publish all of the learning paradigm just so it's like out there. And if anybody's curious about it, they can go, "Oh, okay, I see what he was doing and what, you know, results he got or didn't got." But yeah, we need to brainstorm some strategy components that would be good for scalping. Just make a note of that. We do most of our work in Java. Let's see, Java, uh, a lot of very sophisticated SQL, but we use Python to generate the SQL. So, oh, communication strategy instead of trading strategy. Well, then you'd basically just be reinventing large language models, I would think. I like the idea of like a strategy engine for problem solving generally, but at a certain point, yeah, you're just kind of reinventing the neural network. Boot season and trades. Oh, Java's pretty good these days. Oh, so Cyril, that sounds kind of like the paper doll stuff. Like Facebook and companies like that, they create like a little paper doll of each user that has all of your interest weights in it. And then they can feed that to like a algorithm that's going to guess whether or not you'd click on something. So like here's the ad, here's the paper doll, what's the probability that they're going to click on it? So that way they can optimize the ads that they're going to feed you with that A/B process of feeding you the stuff you're most likely to click on. It's kind of redundant. But yeah, it's better to start with tactics because then you'll be able to discover strategies immediately. I feel like I'm just rambling into a notepad here. Okay, so yeah, we started with a bunch of low hanging fruit, but we need. Yeah, the paper doll thing is powerful. If you can model people's interests and predict what they're going to click on, then you can rule the world. If you have a whole lot of user profiles and click histories, then yeah, it's doable. But there's a cold start problem, which is, it's with every machine learning problem. If you have like a really great paradigm, that's cool, but like you don't have the data to drive it, right? Like if I came up with what I think is the next great TikTok, like I don't have any data to like seed it. Like I would need to get a bunch of people to sign up to my thing first before I would hit like the critical mass for the algorithm to start working. It's kind of a catch 22. That's usually why one app will kind of build off of another, like TikTok built off of another thing in China, right? It's not legal to accept other people's money to do trades for them. Yeah, that you have to be a registered investment advisor to manage other people's money. It's not that it's illegal, it's just that it's very tightly regulated. What about a tool that they use to automate their accounts? Yeah, that exists. Um, the most popular one is called Collective 2. So if I had strategies worth trading, this is something that I might be able to do with it, right? I can go set it up so that, it's trading on my account and all of my trades get carbon copied to subscriber accounts and they pay like a flat fee. So this is a loophole. It's called managed accounts. So I'm not managing your money, I'm managing your account. Much different. Totally different thing. I don't think Elon Musk was doing a Nazi salute. I think he was doing some stupid thing. Oh shit, hell yeah, F. Oh god, what's Elon doing? What the fuck? He did just see Kyle. I don't think he did it intentionally. I think he just did the thing, not realizing that's exactly what he was doing. But that looked a lot like it. Yeah, that I think he was doing this number one-handed. I think he was like, "Yes, embrace the crowd. I love you." But he was doing it with one hand. Okay, maybe he was just fucking Sieg Heiling. All right. God damn it, Elon. I am struggling to make excuses for you. I shouldn't have streamed today. I should I should have taken another sick day. This is a sick, sad world, man. This is a sick, sad world, brother. And I don't know if I want to be on the train anymore. This is it's just getting weird, man. Just getting weird. Okay. Let's let's do a thing. Is my two pip rip not on here? All right, let's take a look. Let me commit what we did a second ago. The research graph, it's just a library called React Force Graph. It's an app that we made for our strategy discovery thing. This right here? Yeah, this is just called React Force Graph. Uh, uh, yeah. Yeah, here you go. Yeah, we it gets kind of floppy though. That's we spent some time poking around in the configuration today, seeing if we can get it to be a little more rigid. And because it just it spawns all like tangled up and then it tries to like push out. Oh yeah, I remember the Elon submarine fail. That was another example of him just like being unable to back down and admit that he was wrong. Let's see. Red Book? No, I have no interest in Chinese social media apps. I mean, I think it's cool. Fuck, I missed it. The Stephen Lynch thing is in a minute, right? Yeah, TikTok's back. They were only gone for like a few hours. It was just enough so that everybody knew it was serious. Okay, it's committed. Let's go take a look at the tactic. Yeah, I heard that the Red Book app was segregating American users anyway because they were posting too much porn. That it was like almost immediately starting to flood with porn and like that's it's very culturally different in China. They don't like porn the way we like porn. I mean, they like porn, but like it's, very tightly controlled over there. Yeah, no guns, no porn, no humor, no Winnie the Pooh jokes. Didn't work out. So I'm one pip short. Oh yeah, because I think this is supposed to be 2 pennies. Hmm. So this is our scalping tactic that we call it the 2 pip rip because it only covers 2 pips. But as it turns out, that's not enough. So when we were looking at the trades it was producing, like literally none of them were profitable because its best case scenario trade only covers its own costs because we kind of screwed up on the math. But that's why we test it first, right? So David Lynch died. That's really sad. Apparently, they're going to do a minute of meditation for him in 10 minutes. See if we can keep our eye on that. Total transaction cost adjusted asking price. Asking price plus the round trip per share transaction costs. Right. So then that divided by the capital exposure limit is the max affordable position. And this is why a lot of our trades were getting rejected because we didn't allocate enough capital to them in our test runs 3 weeks ago. So we spent all day running our trading algorithm and didn't realize till the end of the day that it had been trying to trade all along. We just misconfigured it. Oopsie. The tactic is set up so that if it can't afford an optimally cost efficient sized position, like if it's not big enough to meet the minimum to be cost efficient, then it just rejects it. And that's what kept happening. How did I figure out how hedge funds actually work? There's no big secret, man. No two hedge funds are the same. We shouldn't call them hedge funds because it creates the wrong idea. A hedge fund is a bespoke investment instrument for a very sophisticated investor that already owns everything. So if I'm a billionaire, I own all of the stock, 10 houses, 2 boats. I got the art, the cars, the Pokemon cards. You need diversification at a level that normal people do not. And that's what hedge funds do. They will create new things for you to invest in. Things that are not correlated to anything else that you can invest in, which is why no two hedge funds are alike. If there's two hedge funds that provide exactly the same service, the one with the lower fees will win. Period. So each hedge fund is doing its own thing. Martin Shkreli, when he was running a hedge fund, it only did biopharmaceutical human trial investments. That's it. Other people who know a lot about gold mining might create a hedge fund that only invests in stuff related to gold mining, right? But each fund should be sophisticated enough to justify the management fees that they charge for access to these investments that they create. So this particular hedge fund that we're trying to create is pure alpha, which is to say not correlated with the market, and multi-strategy, which is to say that we're not just trying to do one thing. So we want to have as many strategies as possible that have as little to do with each other as possible so that we can build a very healthy risk-adjusted return that's uncorrelated to other things. Oh, for IntelliJ, it's Starkula. Is there a way to apply quant to the volatile nature of biotech? Kinda. Biotech is really about binary events. Like, we created a drug, we're trying it out, and either it works or it doesn't. Like, you're not going to get any quantitative edge that lets you predict whether or not the drug is going to work. But these banks have quants working to develop strategies. Yeah. How are we doing that? We've built a strategy discovery search engine, which we're hoping will let us automate a lot of that work. Instead of micro specialized expensive strategies. Well, that's what the micro specialized expensive strategies are doing. It's like Millennium and Citadel and Point72 and Cubist, these like big hedge funds. That's what they're doing. They have 100 people sitting at 20 or 30 different desks. They're all focused on very specific aspects of trading and investing, and there's not a lot of overlap. So that way, everybody's doing their own thing. Nobody's stepping on each other's toes. Everyone's hopefully profitable, and they hedge them all against each other to stabilize the returns. So that way, you're not looking for the one great strategy. You're just trying to do any and everything that works and hedge it all against each other. That seems to be the way to do it these days. And yeah, unfortunately, it's very hard to compete against. How do they make money if they lose their customers' money? It's easy. You charge fees. Doesn't matter if we win or lose, we charge you 1% of everything that you give us to manage. You put $100 million with us, we're going to charge you $1 million every year. And if we make you money, you get a percentage of that too, 10 to 20%. That seems unfair. It's very fair. It's very fair. If I only charge a flat fee, then I don't have any incentive to create excess return for you. If I make you 50% or make you 10% or make you nothing, I make the same amount of money. Now that works both ways. That also means that I don't have an incentive to go crazy, right? And now if I'm getting a percentage of the profits, then I do have an incentive to swing for the fences, right? So it's all about aligning the interests. So let's say we're working based on a percentage of the profits and no management fee. That there are people that do that. If you don't have any profit for a few years, you're going to go out of business. Or maybe you just didn't have enough profit one year. You're going to go out of business, right? You want to be able to operate the hedge fund on that flat management fee and then let the profits drive the bonuses. This is why most people who work at hedge funds make very little money. You could be a hotshot commodities trader. You're going to make like $60,000 a year. But come bonus time, you're going to get a $5 million bonus, right? Because the fund did really well this year. So that's where you get a lot of stuff like that. Where, these Wall Street guys live or die by the bonus, right? Because they make fucking no money at all on the day-to-day. And that's what running a hedge fund would be like. We would basically have no money until we had a couple of really good years. Hello, Harisico. Happy Donald Trump Day. How am I holding up? I've been very, very sick for the last 2 weeks, and I have been miserable. But we finished strategy discovery, and we finished live trading operations. So now we can use our system to discover strategies and deploy them. We do not yet have any exciting strategies, but we have only just begun. I have also decided that if we do not have any results after 2 months or so, that I'm going to put this to rest and focus on more straightforward techniques like Marcus Lopez de Prado's tactical strategy factory, where they're using synthetic data. Because, You gotta throw in the towel at some point and just do it like everybody else, I guess. But yeah, how have you been? How's the market been treating you, buddy? Okay, happy to. Are we going to be able to see the trades? Yeah, that's the idea. Swamped, yeah, I bet. Hey, if you're hiring, if you're hiring. But yeah, no, I'd love to be able to talk to you off stream. New deal, huge client, sweet. That's cool. Yeah, we got it all built. Now we got to see if there's any validity to the strategy discovery paradigm. I think certainly there's validity in searching, but is the one that we built going to work? That's the question. Once in a lifetime deal. Yeah, hey, good. Growing by an order of magnitude, I hope. Okay, sent you my email there. How do DMs work? There should be a little thing in the top right. Yeah, there you go. So you have $1,000 to play with. Well, algorithmic trading is not for $1,000, unfortunately. The fees are just too high. Yeah, DMs suck in Twitch. Yeah, shoot me an email. I'll make sure I got it before you go off. And yeah, we'll talk. Because yeah, I've just been thinking a lot about as you've seen, I've put a lot of time, effort, and energy, a lot of my life, and a lot of my passion into stuff that's just not working. And it's just time to be real honest about that kind of stuff and start thinking about like, all right, so if this isn't going to work, what are we going to do? What are we going to do next? Let's not mess around with message buses for another year. Yeah, a lot of that energy went to waste, and it really breaks my heart that I put the best years of my life into dead ends, and I really don't like that. It's been challenging for my faith, and I know that a lot of it is just because I haven't had guidance. Like I haven't had someone to sort of pull me in the right direction, and I've just been kind of wandering around on my own and just wasting a lot of energy. What's my background? Biotechnology and genetic engineering. No, Mario's got. I think he got a job at Rocket Lab. He's a young guy. He's got his whole life ahead of him. He's moving on. No, I'm not dwelling on it. I'm just kind of coming to terms with a lot of time wasted, and I just don't want to see what's left of the passion drain away. I want to. It's like no matter how passionate you are about something, if you just don't achieve any results doing it after years, like it's just you don't get that reinforcement, right? Like even if you're talented, like you have to have confidence, and that confidence comes from success. So no success, no confidence. Then it's like, are we even doing this right? You know. Anyway, I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer about it. Just I've been sick in bed for like 2 weeks, just kind of thinking about that kind of stuff. Like when you're literally too sick to work on it, you sort of think about the meta, the stuff around it. Anyhow, I'm still pretty confident we'll get some results out of this. I'm just starting to wonder about like if this is going to actually be able to capture the nuances, I don't know. I think I'm still not quite past the fever yet. It's discovering things that don't work. Yeah, yeah, no, I said that for the first 15 years. At a certain point, it's like there go my 20s, half my 30s are gone. I could have just got a day job, I'd be a millionaire. You start to feel your peers kind of leaving you behind. You look around, everybody's got families and houses and careers, and it's like, gosh, I kind of bet the farm on this and didn't really go the way I wanted it to. Fail forward. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, well, like I said, if this doesn't work out, I want to take a more direct approach, like a lot of the newer research papers have been talking about. And if that doesn't get any traction, then it's, throw in the towel, just get a day job. But yeah, I'm checking my email here, Harisico. I don't see anything from you. Make sure you spelled that right before you wander off. What's making me doubtful suddenly? Oh, it's just that I've been sick the last 2 weeks, so I haven't really been able to work on it much. And as part of that sickness has been a lot of introspection. Because you're just kind of laying there. Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure you had the right address. Just send me a poke or something so I know it's the right one. And then I can not worry about it. Well, you know what? I got your DM. I'll just DM you. It's all right. But yeah, Harisico's the real deal. Working on some quant stuff at a respectable scale. And he's poked his head in here every couple of months to try and nudge me in the right direction. But yeah. Oh yeah, L3. That's usually how it goes with me. Is that like when we're on the precipice of finding out, that's when I get depressed. When it's like, okay, we're gonna do this thing, and then we're gonna know for certain whether or not this was all for nothing. That's when I start getting a little like, okay, so let's go ahead and sort of figure out what we're gonna do if this doesn't get any results. Then, because for so long I saw this in my head and I had to build it, and I was really terrible at building it, and I struggled like hell to build it. And it took me like 4 years to build what turned out to be like a one-page app, right? And so now that it's built, I'm kind of looking at it and I'm like, fuck, is this actually going to work? It's like it all makes sense on the napkin. And now I've coded it and I'm looking at it and I'm like, is this actually going to be able to discover strategies that work? Or did I just do a whole lot of bullshitting around technical analysis? Hey, cutie. It kind of feels like, yeah. Like maybe my just fundamental lack of experience has led me in the wrong direction. Yeah, just tackling it head on. Yeah, and that's, like I said, that's all I can do. Like I had this thing, I had this thing in my head. I had to build it. I have now built it, and there is a small moment of pause here to go, okay, okay, we built it. Now it might not work, and we need to make peace with that. Um, because I specifically don't want to let myself toil for another year without results. That's kind of where I'm at now. Is I think I've let myself toil enough that now we need to have results or we need to have a new idea. Yeah. Yeah, most people don't even start, so at least we did that. What do I think about copying the best traders by P&L rate? Who? What 30 traders? You mean like copying people's SEC filings? Wouldn't work. It takes too long. By the time they put the filings in, it's already been 30, 90 days, whatever. Just put it all on red. No, I live in Vegas, man. I don't gamble. I don't know, Colonel Chatbird. I mean, if those traders actually have some meaningful insight into future events, yeah, possibly. I don't know. Try it out. I think that you'll find that it's just gambling. That the ones that are winning big are the ones that are trading the biggest, that are sort of like the highest variance gamblers. If any of them actually have a nice, long, consistent track record, they're probably market making, doing some sort of arbitrage. In which case, I just try to figure out whatever it is they're doing and then do it faster. 98, 99% win rate. Those are probably market makers. Lots of little wins. That's probably what that is. Somebody doing like a multi-book arbitrage. Do I do MT4 commission? No. Yeah, there's a lot of people doing like DeFi market making, which can be, profitable, but very risky. Like, yeah, you're going to win 99, 98% of your trades, but the ones that you lose are going to be motherfuckers. Like wipe out all of your profit type losers. But yeah, I think that's where the big money is right now on DeFi is market making, providing liquidity. Somebody's got to take the risk, and you get pretty handsomely rewarded for it. I wouldn't want to do it though. Scary. Could lose everything. Yeah, there's not really a lot of systematic traders out there. Yeah, Stock Jock's pretty good, but Stock Jock, he's a cowboy trader, so he doesn't have like a straightforward system. He's trading his gut instincts, his intuition. Yeah, market making, yeah, picking up pennies in front of a steamroller. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. It's kind of like selling the five delta options. Like, oh yeah, 95% of the time you're gonna win, but when you lose, it's gonna hurt so fucking bad. You're gonna rue the day you were born. Oh yeah, Zen Mind. Yeah, that kind of stuff happens. Yeah. Same thing with long-term capital management. They were doing like 40%, 60%, 80% returns, and then all at once it broke. And they lost more money in a week than they made in all of their existence. Those those arbitrage opportunities where they like lever them up so big because they think they can't lose, and then like a 1% deviation from expectation is a total loss, and it deviates 5%. It's like, oh fuck, we're ruined. It's hard. See that's exactly what gives me like a pause, where it's like, huh, you sure you're gonna find something? You know what I mean? Oh, and just so people don't get the wrong idea, I'm not sitting here feeling sorry for myself. I'm sitting here feeling very dizzy, and I'm just kind of shooting the shit while I wait for the room to stop spinning. I'm not sitting here like, oh, what's the point? I'm sitting here like, fuck, I really wish the room would stop spinning so we can get back to work. And in the meantime, let's discuss some things I've been thinking about. Well, billion trader, if I ultimately just throw in the towel on this kind of stuff, I'll probably just do a more traditional style portfolio. I mean, just to get back in touch with the market, just to start trading again. That's something I've been thinking about a lot. I miss just trading, just having some skin in the game and sort of playing along with everybody else. I kind of miss that. And yeah, it would be kind of nice to just get away from the quant stuff and focus entirely on more traditional type investing. My chest is getting more pronounced. Okay. What does that mean? Shrek is beautiful. Yeah, Shrek is beautiful. Isn't he a chode muffin of a man? My chest is getting more pronounced. Is that a nice way of saying I'm getting fat? Anyhow. Yeah, this flu sucks. Don't get this flu. This one has thoroughly kicked my ass. I've frankly barely been able to get anything done for like 2 weeks. Including today. I was thinking today would be more productive, but man, we've just been like just pulling by teeth. Hopefully tomorrow will be better. Hmm. Chris James robot. What? No, it sounds scammy. Sounds pretty scammy. Quant means quantitative. It means sort of analysis by the numbers. So to say quant trading is any kind of trading that's strictly data driven. It usually means we've used math to figure out some sort of arbitrage opportunity. 3 days fever, bronchitis, walking pneumonia. Yeah, that's pretty much what happened to me, man. 3 days of pretty awful fever, couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. A week of cold sweats, nausea, uh, yeah, productive cough, big nasty phlegm balls, fucking awful. And now sitting here, it's been about 10 days and I'm still dizzy. I can go for about 20 minutes at a time before I start getting woozies, but that's a big step in the right direction. I'm eating, I'm sleeping, the fever's broken. So at this point, it's just like what's left of the crud and getting my blood sugar stabilized, and I think I'll be all right. Corey Hoffstein and Juan Sinclair, I don't know. If they're legit, they're running a hedge fund. That's all there is to it. If they're selling some trading program, then they're scammers. It's that simple. If they're the real deal, then they are running a hedge fund. That's what I'm trying to do. Do we have a certain strategy that we're looking to get down in code? Oh no, we've built a pretty sophisticated trading strategy discovery engine. That's what all this is. And we can automatically deploy them and they can trade themselves and all that. We're just trying to find good ones. At the moment, we're just sitting here feeling sick. It's like, this flu sucks, man. I can't express that enough. This flu sucks. I am so tired of feeling sick. All I want to do is feel normal again so I can get some work done. 95 people are watching me complain about having the flu. Thank you all for being here. Thanks, cutie. Is this Java FX? No, this is Next.js. This is all shadcn components. Oh, did I break it? I think I turned off the back end. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I did. I turned it off to go poke at the scalping tactic. Let me start that up again. Well, yeah, I appreciate you all listening to me gripe about being sick. It's awful. And my little pity party. Oh, all right. There we go. So yeah, our discovered strategy details page is still broken. That needs to be fixed. I want to swap out the progressive P&L chart for a Monte Carlo envelope, like high, low, average. Then we can get rid of the drawdown chart. The trade history chart becomes a distribution. And yeah, we can sort of scrub out some of the fine details that we don't need. We'll probably keep this though. This is pretty good. Okay, so yeah, this becomes Monte Carlo, this becomes distribution, and this stays. Okay. Oh, okay, we've already got that. Remove cumulative P&L drawdown chart, add Monte Carlo with, yep, average and envelopes, add distribution of Monte Carlo P&L chart. Unnecessary. Because it would be implicit in the Monte Carlo chart. Distribution of drawdowns. Yeah, that might be useful. Oh, a trade by trade progressive chart? No, I don't like that idea. I really don't. I don't like the idea of having progressive P&L on the strategy discovery chart. It's dishonest. Like, yeah, that's what it was where we discovered it, but we're never going to get exactly those results, so it would be better to think of it as a distribution. Does the app backtrack? Like, can you simulate in the past and see if it would work? Yeah. That's sort of how strategy discovery works. All strategies are discovered in sample, like within the data. So we would have a holdout sample, like holdout data to then forward test it in something that it hasn't seen before, just like a traditional machine learning approach. We don't have any synthetic data, not yet. That's something that we're interested in, but do we do Monte Carlo backtests or walk forward one? For strategy discovery, the parameters never change, so there's no need to walk forward backtest. It's just a straight shot backtest. For a Monte Carlo backtest, you would either randomize the input data or you would run 10,000 simulations on synthetic data, so like a literal Monte Carlo. Yeah. So the parameters are fixed. So each strategy component, they don't have parameters. And if they do have any internal parameterization, it's entirely self-contained. So there's no interaction effects between the components. They each do what they each do. That way we don't have to worry about an infinite number of permutations through interactions. The idea is that we want to be able to try as many strategies as possible without having a very fine-grained parameter space where we would be more likely to find false positives and like local maximums and stuff. So we don't want to have like two different moving averages that can be dialed to market conditions. It would be better just to have like, yeah, this component is attuned to this particular condition and this one's attuned to this other condition, instead of letting one have a range to do both, because it would just create too many permutations. So we want to try as many strategy ideas as possible and minimize the chance of overfitting. That's sort of the general idea. Developing one strategy, for that, you would want to use the synthetic data approach, where you would create a data generating process that can produce synthetic market data that is indistinguishable from what you're trying to trade, whatever environment or anomaly. And then you would build your strategy for the synthetic data so that it performed well on the synthetic data, not the real world data. And then you would just want to make a detector that detects when the real world data looks a lot like the synthetic data. Synthetic data literally is fake data that you created by whatever process, so that you're not designing a strategy for limited historical real world data. So like if I just keep fine-tuning a strategy until it backtests very well for the last year, it's not going to do very well when we actually go to trade it because it's overfit. But if I create a data generator that can create synthetic market data that's indistinguishable from the last year and all of its nuance, where we literally can't tell the difference between them, and I can generate an unlimited amount of that synthetic data to build my strategy for, then it should actually continue to perform well as long as market conditions match that synthetic data generating process. There's a really cool research paper on this, which we read a lot around here. This is the paper. Here, check this out. It's really dense. It's a little tricky to understand. I had to read it a couple of times before I like really got it. But that's the technique that we've been talking about. So the technique that I'm using, we're searching for strategies in real data, and we're doing a few things to avoid any feedback loop that can cause overfitting. With this technique, the feedback loop is averted by using synthetic data. So there is no feedback loop. Just two different ways to kind of get around the overfitting problem. Which one's better? I don't know. This guy's got a PhD and teaches at Cornell, so he's probably a lot smarter than me. All right, let me check my email, Harisigo. Yeah, I got it. All right, yeah, man. Let's talk. We can do a one-on-one, and I can walk you through where we're at, and you can tell me if I'm wasting my life or not. I'll be more open to it than I might normally be. Seems to be a very interesting pipeline. Yes, that's how I think of it. Is it's a pipeline optimized for the velocity of ideas. So how fast can we model an idea, test an idea, and if it unlocks any strategies, how fast can we put those strategies into production? And we do seem to have that boiled down to minutes, where we can model an idea in a couple of minutes, we can put it into the system to test it in a couple of minutes, and if it finds anything worth trading, we can deploy it in a couple of minutes. That's pretty cool. Even if we never find any good strategies, I'm still pretty proud of building that. So what kind of data are we keying off of? Mostly just historical price data. We'd like to move on to like weather data and more exotic stuff. We built it so that we can plug in anything. If you can model it into a label, you can put it in there. So how do laws and policies and stuff change the data? Hey, that's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother thing. So a factor that might affect stock price, if we were just aliens, right? If we were just looking at data and we had no understanding of what human things are, we would look at the data and we would figure out, hey, if Congress is in session, whatever that means, there's a higher probability of a disruptive market event. Why would that be? Well, all things being equal, Congress can't pass some surprise piece of legislation that upsets markets if Congress is not in session. Right? So Modulo makes a very fascinating point, is that many, many, many things affect the market. Any emergence of new information relevant to the price of an asset will be discovered and baked in, right? So if you're a traditional style investor, you want to get ahead of those things. You sort of want to figure out what's the next shoe to drop and get ahead of that, if you can. We as the data hounds, as the math nerds, as the quants, we're looking for those reflexivity things in the market that we talked about earlier. We can't know what the earnings report is going to be, but we can figure out that if somebody is trading like they have it 10 minutes before they're supposed to, well, are they betting up or betting down? Let's detect that and follow along. If you're a big guy and you're managing billions of dollars, you have to be in the market. You can't just pull it all out and wait for the storm to pass. So you have to have your investments and you have to hedge against the risks, but you can't have nothing. You can't go flat. You can't just sell it all. You have what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? You have an obligation, you have a duty, you have a responsibility, you have a mandate to maintain this portfolio, right? You have to navigate the seas as the weather changes. But we're small, we're little people, right? We can be very tactical. We want to use all of our data to pick our fights very carefully and otherwise stay in cash. so that we don't have any passive exposures. And that's pretty much it. All of the data and all of the computer power and all of the analysis and all the fancy techniques, they're really just there to help us pick our fights. That's what you do as an algo trader. You pick your fights. You fight when all the math and all the numbers and all the simulations say that you have an edge. That doesn't mean always right. It just means positive expected value on average. On average, we expect a positive outcome, all things being equal. So in the long run, that edge will accumulate. And if we can diversify our risks with multiple strategies to control the variance, the volatility, well, it becomes more predictable and less risky, in theory. That's the general idea. Listen to me, guys. I know what I'm talking about, all right? I worked at Goldman Sachs for like 7 years. My dad was the director of cinematographics at Goldman Sachs. Sorry, I flubbed that one. It was funny in my head. Oh, God. Being sick sucks. All right. All this create and assign portfolio stuff. This is going to be a second thing. Yeah, it's okay to be wrong. Yeah. There is no perfect strategy. There's no God strategy. It doesn't exist. That's always right. That's never wrong. That's always has a position and is always on the right side of the market. It does not exist. But it's reasonable to believe that we could find some stuff that's right more than it's wrong, that has some informational advantage for a particular tactic, for a particular kind of outcome. I'm talking like in terms of like the Greeks, like second order derivatives. Like, is this particular event predictive of declining volatility at plus 30 minutes? Like that, there's probably something there. Yeah, it would be very subtle, right? It wouldn't be something so obviously profitable, right? Like it would have to be something maybe even counterintuitive, which is what I would hope that a search engine would be able to help me find is like a counterintuitive predictive anomaly, right? Not necessarily predictive of the price, but maybe predictive of the volatility, maybe predictive of theta decay, right? Which I guess would be volatility. Yeah. Other than the two big things, redo the strategy details page and portfolio manager being able to approve of tactical intentions. Everything else is just like little quality of life upgrades. Uh, More detailed broker simulation, a couple of extra panels on the dashboard, better cleanup at the end of the day for live data subscriptions. Well, it's kind of like a midday data subscription cleanup. Yeah, optimize the partitioning on flight recorder data. And yeah, just one little bug fix here so that candle aggregation is up to spec. We found out that yeah, not all the trade conditions are actually accounted for in Polygon's little field guide. We figured that out when we were investigating one of our anomalies. Hmm. Send craft pics to your friends. Yeah. Well, people are interested. As I told, or as I filled out my partner application for Twitch yesterday, I was sure to mention that we are in fact the only financial technology stream on Twitch that I know of. Does anybody know of another one? There's a lot of coders, right? And there's game devs and there's traders, but there's not financial technology coders, right? Trading technology coders. I think I'm the only one. Which feels pretty good, man. Feels pretty good, man. Okay, so we've got our work cut out for us this week. We need to spit and polish all of our new components, come up with some new ones specifically tailored towards scalping. We'll start with tactics because the tactics do the scalping. So if we have a handful of tactics to start us out with, then every new signal that we add will automatically unlock a bunch of strategies. So it should just go faster. It should be more exciting. If we start with the tactics and then move on to anomalies and context models, the strategies will just be popping out the whole time. Every time we add a new model, a bunch of strategies will pop out if we start with tactics. So we should definitely do that. Um, Tactics, then as many signals and context labels as we can think of that might possibly be relevant for scalping. And then we'll go from there. Shouldn't take too long to figure out if we're coming up with good stuff or not. So we're going to be looking for strategies that have F scores that's like accuracy scores greater than 0.6 and profit factors greater than 1. And if we don't find any after 2 months or so, then we're probably barking up the wrong tree. I think that's the roadmap. Any questions there? I think that's the roadmap, the road ahead. Right? Very exciting. Very exciting. Hmm. I, on the other hand, am still feeling like crap. I've sort of been sitting here throughout the stream waiting to not feel like the room is spinning. And gang, I still feel like the room is spinning. So I think I'm going to go ahead and call it here. And thank everybody for coming out. Yeah, I got to do some electrolytes and eat something that's not a banana. If I could give you one piece of advice, folks, and I hate to repeat this, it's don't catch this flu. I am young. I am healthy. I'm in pretty great cardiovascular health. Don't let this fool you, all right? Don't let this fool you. I'm in great health. This thing kicked my ass. Don't let your parents catch this one, man. I called home to mama. I was like, you stay the fuck home. I don't want to hear that you caught this thing. So this one's really bad, folks. So stay inside. We'll be back tomorrow. We're gonna be streaming as regular. I'm really determined to get out of this flu funkness and just get some work done, because as you've seen today on the stream, we are so close to knowing whether or not that this is gonna work. So it's a very exciting time. We don't want to drop the ball now. We don't want to get lazy now, and we certainly don't want to embrace a defeatist attitude that we might fail. Hey, we might. Whatever. At least we'll know, right? So we're going to go right into Asmongold and see the Snoop Dogg concert. I'm going to lay down for a minute and have my last little Gatorade here and order some more. So yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. And thank you all for the love and support on our way to partner. I'm pretty sure we're going to get it. At least that's one thing, huh? Y'all take care of yourselves, all right? See you tomorrow.